been an important month in Iran, especially the past few days. So stay with us as we tell you all about it. Don't forget, stay with Iran. So let's get our show started off with the noble city of Yazd, as Marco Polo once called it in his travel logs. Now Yazd is a city that I'm sure you've heard plenty about, particularly on this program, as Mazdak was kind enough to take us to many of the wonderful sights that Yazd has to offer. But Yazd is an important city at the time of its construction from 3000 BC till now, a city unprecedented on its own right. Especially even at the time of 1200 AD, during Genghis Khan's invasion of Iran, Yazd proved to be a safe haven for many of the intellectuals, scientists, and artists and creatives that Iran had to offer. Many of them gathered in Yazd to stay away from the war-ravaged country. And it still proves to be so, a great creative center point on its own. One great example is our own director and cameraman, Mr. Ehsan Kaveh, calls Yazd his hometown. Now let's go join Mazdak Miravidini as he takes us to the city of Yazd.
Although Yazd dates from Sasanian times, its history is fairly undistinguished. It was conquered by the Arabs in about 642. It subsequently became an important station on the caravan routes to Central Asia and India, exporting its silks, textiles, and carpets far and wide. When Marco Polo passed this way in the 13th century, he described Yazd as a very fine and splendid city and a center of commerce. It was spared destruction by Genghis Khan and Timur and flourished in the 14th and 15th centuries, yet its commercial success and stability were never translated into political status.
So we are going to see some of the alleys and old part of Yazd. There is a lot of houses, old houses, some of them more than 100 years. So you know, Yazd called by several names. One of those names is Wind Tower cities or Badgir cities. Because there's plenty of Badgirs on top of the houses. That's why they call it City of the Wind Tower or Shahr Badgir. The other name of Yazd was Izad, Yazd, Yasht, or Kesse. Actually, Kesse is a Greek name, means prison. And they call it Kesse because of the Alexander prison was in Yazd. So another name of Yazd is Isatis. Also Yazd they called the city of the bicycle or Shahrid or Charhab. People used to have a bicycle for transport. When you look at the alleys and streets, and especially the type of houses they build it, you can see the material they use in houses is very familiar with the weather of Yazd, which is the desert and is very warm. Because the hot people, they use material that is more familiar with the weather, that is people that can more comfortable live in the inside of the houses. You know, in an old part of Yazd, there are some small markets, which is we call bazaar in Farsi. There is for daily uses. The people coming for daily, they come to shopping, buy things, bakery, and the other stuff. But today, because it's a religious ceremony, a lot of shops are closed. Because most of the people is in religious ceremony, they do not work. That is Jama Mosque. It's the minaret of Jama Mosque. You see? Over there. So, you know, people used to have the drink water from water reservation, or that's we call Ab-Anbar. This is one of those water reservation Ab-Anbar. Underground channel waters. So, as I told you before, here was the place people come and take a water. Downstairs of here was a big tap. People come several times per day and take a water for drink. And here, which is not covered, is to get a light because it's so deep. They need some place uncovered to get a light to bright when they want to go down. They can see the steps. Those are the textile of Yazd. Before they use those kashmir or terme, what we call it, before they use hand machine. This is all by my hand. And those are all textile of Yazd. Here used to be the place that they make a textile, and this is the one of very famous Yazdi textile. They call darai, yes. And this is also they use by the hand. Even now they weaving with the hands, which is from old time ago up to now, the technique doesn't change a lot. So you can see there's plenty of these.
Just to keep it traditional?
Exactly. I mean, the technique doesn't change because the technique they use it originally come from Indonesia, and now they use for the Iranian textile. The first, before they painted and they colored, then they weaving here. This gentleman working for more than 60 years. And him as something like 100 years old.
Now time for our next package by Gisu Misha Ahmadi, as she talks about one of my own personal favorite topics, fashion. Let's go join her as she tells us about fashion in Iran. And I'm sure you all have already noticed my own personal manto that I'm wearing right now, all decorated with Persian calligraphy. Now let's go join her as she tells us about what's going on in fashion in Iran now.
Fashion adds spice to life with its rich color, variety, and beauty, and Iran is no exception. While one may assume that the Islamic dress code, which requires women to cover their hair and body, only showing the face and hands, does not leave much room for following fashion trends, a stroll in downtown Tehran proves otherwise. Iranian fashion designers give you the manto, a long loose coat which comes in a range of styles, colors, and designs to satisfy different tastes.
Oh, too formal. Nah, too old. Only one word to describe this one: kitsch.